Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, 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 don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, just let me be blunt. My speech in the morning, nothing but grunts. With no coffee, that's just dangerous. On a scale from 1 to 10, I rank it that girl from Stranger Things. And if you get what I'm saying, my attitude be mad flagrant like I'm Draymond. But you ain't get the picture, BFP. So I'm gonna keep pushing on you, GNC. It's like, yeah, the first thing on my mind is when that hot coffee gonna seep into the coffee grind. It's like some magic's floating all in the air. Toss some ice cubes in my cup, it's a good day. All I gotta say is that it's starting in a good way. It's time for working and I don't even care. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, of course it's cold. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, of course it's cold. We start fresh, that's how it's gotta be. Everything starts back with your coffee bean. If it's cold brew, then it's gotta be coarse. Don't get the cart ahead of the horse, start learning the course. But of course you can disregard, and don't at me if it gets too hard. When it's my time to drink, man, it's always on hand. Drink from a cup or a bottle, even a can. You never know when you're craving a hit. It could be in the bathroom while you're taking a Ric Flair while singing, ain't got nothing on it. When that coffee hits my lips, it's a seance. Feeling real super with the cape on. Anything I'll take on. This cup of coffee, yeah boy, this is the shit. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, of course it's cold. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, of course it's cold. Third verse, so I guess that's where I talk about how we might be addicted in a roundabout kind of way, or how you say a dependency that's in my life, and I'm proud to say it's filling me with way more energy than I'll ever need, keeping me up for things I thought I'd never see. Time's gonna kill us all one day, whether old age, illness, or from listening to Coldplay. F that noise, wubba love, love. Drink all the coffee, chug a lug, lug. The day doesn't start till you're on your second cup. If they talk before then, huh, homies better duck. It's 100%.
Good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live. Wait, what? What's that, Chet? Oh, yes, no, we're on the regular Den of Nerds today. Yes, okay, you're right, good call. Look, normally this show happens on the Den of Nerds Live, our live streaming channel, every day, Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, we're doing it on the regular Den of Nerds channel. If you are having fun, if you are liking these streams, you need to go over to the live streaming channel. You need to subscribe, because this show's not going to stop. We're going to be streaming every morning for the foreseeable forever. On today's show, it's not clickbait, guys. LeBron's going to spoil Black Widow. LeBron is going to spoil Black Widow. I talked to him earlier today. He said, yeah, I'm absolutely going to spoil that. So I'll hit you up first, fam, and you'll get all the details. So another reason you're going to want to subscribe to the Den of Nerds. But in all seriousness, folks, crazy story about the NBA season, which is now going to be completely held in Orlando at Disney World. And the NBA players and their families are going to get access to some Disney movies early, one of them being Black Widow, supposedly. We're going to break that down. Trinity from 2nd Street Marvel's going to join the program in a little bit, and we're going to get into the spice, baby. We're going to talk about the spice. But before we get into that, let's say good morning. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. How are we all doing this morning? Steve Denton's in the house. Frederick's here. Omega24, Star Wars, Santa, Rowan, Cad, Jacob's Quest, Alexander Carfeld, Stormbreaker, Jordan, Bill M, Writes Reviews, Mr. Deeds, Brian O'Connor, Jumptown, Rob Van Camp, Gray's in the building. What's up? Trinity's in the chat. Jishin, what's up, Captain Pennsylvania? Melanated Enlightenment, that's a crazy name. Selvin and Sly's in the building, everybody. Alpha Boy Games, Jeff. Oh my God, so many beautiful people, man. So many beautiful people in here. How's everybody doing? If I missed you, I apologize. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Let's get the vibes going. Get the vibes going. Chet, you know what to do. Turn that up just a little bit. Wednesday, free comic book day. I want to ask Trinity if he read any good comics. If there's any good comics that came out this week. I don't think there was a lot of Marvel stuff, but wow, I guess we picked the wrong time to crank that music because the song's ending. Yeah. All right, bring it down a little bit. In fact, Chet, God damn it, just stop the music. Stop the music. Let's just move along. Let's just move along. Let's not talk about it. Let's move along. It's the craziest news of the day. Yo, this news is crazy. Black Widow movie could be released to athletes in NBA's return at Disney World. Actual headline. This is coming from The Direct. I'm going to go ahead and read right from this article a little bit so that we can get on the same page here, folks, and then we will talk about what it means. We may not all be world-class athletes, but there is a chance we share one common trait with a few of them: an appreciation for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Nice. After all, who can forget when LaShawn McCoy was introduced to the fandom of the MCU in the aftermath of his viewing and spoiling of Avengers Endgame? Oh, boy. Surely athletes that are simultaneously Marvel fanatics were disappointed at the news of Black Widow's delay to November 2020. But now you can have a chance to watch Black Widow months ahead of time. There's just one caveat. You must be an NBA player heading to Orlando for the season's restart. Rumor! According to Keith Smith of Yahoo Sports, Walt Disney World sources hint that the studio will make movies available for players and their families upon the NBA's return in Orlando. The selection will likely include films not yet released to the public, including Marvel's Black Widow. What this means. You don't need a private investigator like Jessica Jones to connect the dots here. The Disney-Marvel connection is at the heart of this new development. Disney is looking to leverage all its benefits in making Orlando a welcome spot for the players and families. And being a parent company of Marvel Studios is just one of those benefits. That means having the luxury of releasing blockbuster films like Black Widow ahead of time. The real question will be if we will have another LaShawn McCoy incident in the aftermath. Spoiler alert, we will. The NBA's guidelines prohibit its players and families from leaving the resort during the season. I found that crazy, and we're going to talk more about this with Trinity. The whole thing is just so weird to me. But as we all know, social media is the new means of travel. Marvel is notorious for trying to prevent spoilers ahead of the worldwide film's release. See, Thanos demands your silence thing. Yeah, that they did. Merchandise has already been leaked. It has sparked new plot theories for the film. Beware of spoilers. So we can only imagine what risk it could be in releasing the film months ahead of time. Just to be safe, Thanos should probably issue another silence PSA. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Okay, so first up, I want to know, and I need to know. How does the chat feel about this? I need to know how you guys feel about this. Baseline, gut level, how do you feel? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a bad idea? Do you not care? Do you care a lot? Tell me. And LeBron, if you're in here, promise that you won't spoil it. It's not right? Awful idea. No, don't spoil. It's going to absolutely leak. It's a terrible idea. Tough one to understand. Terrible idea. Horrible. The end credits will be a trailer to Space Jam 2. You're probably right. It's BS. Unfair. Yes, unfair. Lame. Put on Disney Plus. Holy hell. Okay, well, look. We found something that we can agree on. You know, in these dark times, in these times where, you know, the world can be so divisive and so ugly and, you know, all those other platitudes, we found one thing that we can agree on. We all officially hate the NBA. You know what we should really do? You know what we should really do? We should show the powers of nerds and fandom. And we should cancel the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, we should cancel it. You know? We should talk about how nobody should watch the NBA season. We should be burning jerseys. We should be doing all sorts of crazy things to let them know how absolutely ridiculous this is. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. Look, it's kind of yeah, cancel it, just like Josh, cancel it. Yeah. Because most nerds watch the NBA. I'll still watch the NBA. Everyone's like, whoa, Josh, hard line, bro. Hard line. You just crossed the line. I still want to watch the NBA. Okay. All right. For you sports ball fans. Yeah, I'll concede that point. I was just kidding. Now look, before we bring Trinity on here, and I want to talk to him about this, of course. I want to talk to him about these feelings. I think he's got some strong opinions about this. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm excited to get him in here and talk about this. Let's talk about the thing everybody really wants to talk about. Let's talk about the awkward mommy and daddy mad at each other stream from yesterday. The stream in which Adam from Fanjecture and myself debated the Batman. Were you guys here for that? Did everybody watch that stream? Couple of different things I want to say. And also, Trinity has some opinions on this, too. I'm actually really interested to hear what Trinity has to say about all of this. So, let's talk about it. So, here's the number one thing that I want to say. The number one takeaway that I have about the stream is this. At the end of the day, I felt a little awkward about it. Adam felt a little awkward about it. But ultimately, the takeaway that I got was that you guys watching at home, you guys loved it. You loved it. So I just want to know, is that true? Was that the accurate takeaway? That everybody loved the debate? Because I think the question is, are we doing more debates? You know what I mean? Are we doing more debates? Did you like the debate format? You two may need some counseling. Yes, more debates. Debate me, Josh. More debates. You should. Debate. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's awesome. I appreciate the feedback. So here's the thing. First of all, let me just explain that Adam and I absolutely love each other. We absolutely love each other. And it's just so funny that he and I both were the ones that actually felt a little awkward about it. Everybody else really seemed to like it. Okay. So I do think that the content should have been improved, and a moderator would go a long way. My personal belief is that a moderator would go a long way. And also the terms of the debate should be a little bit better, because it was an interesting thing. And Adam spoke to this on his stream as well. But we came at it from different, I believe, different vantage points, right? So, like, what I was trying to debate was why I am concerned about the Batman, and here's the reasons why I'm concerned about the Batman, and those are valid reasons. And I think Adam was sort of talking about, or came at it from a perspective of like, so here's all the things Josh has been talking shit about. And I want to sort of take those issues down. So we were kind of like coming at it from different angles. But also this is also the thing. That's why live streaming is enjoyable. That's why people love watching live streams. That's why streaming is so big. And so Adam and I are going to do a round 2. And Adam and I are going to either do another debate or maybe at least a discussion about this, and that will be happening over on the live streaming channel. So I think that ultimately, as I thought about it, the thing I wanted to say was, I think it's good content. even if we were uncomfortable and even if the stream was a little uncomfortable, I still think it's good content. And I also think that if you like that kind of content, you should be coming over to the live streaming channel because we are going to continue to do stuff like that and continue to do it. So, I think Adam and I are both looking forward to sitting down and talking about it again. You know what I mean? So if you like that content, come on by the live streaming channel. We're going to continue to do that. So that's all I really wanted to say about it. But yeah, no, look, I see all the comments. I see all the the engagement with it's really cool. I appreciate everyone being really engaged with it. And I don't feel any certain way about like the things people are bringing up. I think you're probably right in a lot of ways, guys. So, all good. And to be honest with you, like it's a learning process, man. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to state that. All right, let's try to get Trinity on the line. I'm going to give him a call. See if we can get him on in here so that we can talk about this stuff. This NBA stuff. Trinity, you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, awesome. So I've got your audio. Give me just a minute here to see if I can get your video in here. Okay, cool. Looks like I've got your video. So give me just 1 second as I try to adjust. Okay, I got you. Got you in the stream, my friend. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts about this whole NBA Marvel thing. This is pretty wild to me. But I think first, we spoke briefly about it, but you said that I believe you said the stream yesterday was amazing for many reasons. And I was wondering if you want to elaborate on that.
Well, I think for me, the one thing is like, obviously you guys, for me, I think you guys kind of did take it at different angles as well. Which is all good and dandy. For one, I like seeing discourse. I like seeing people come together and talk about things. And I think yesterday's stream was a perfect example of just that. People with different views on things, different ways of debating their points, and probably different things that they want to touch upon while still talking about all about the same thing and enjoying that discourse, seeing those conversations and seeing that, you know what, you can have a debate. You can't even have a heated debate and still be friends and get along. And you don't have to resort to all of the insults or anything like that. It was just a good stream. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like, again, just kind of thinking about it, it's so weird that like Adam and I had this perspective on it and we felt a certain way about it, but ultimately like everybody really loved it. And I think that, I think that if it was like scored and moderated, it might be a little bit better. And structure always helps, right? So structure always helps.
Right.
And ultimately, I thought it was really cool. You know what I mean? I thought it was really cool. But yeah, so let's move into this conversation about the NBA and Marvel and Black Widow. Give me your baseline take, man. Where are you at with this in a baseline?
I don't know. It's kind of messed up. You know what? Like, I feel like we need to start our own hashtag too, right? We need hashtag release Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
but only thing is I don't want Black Widow not on a big screen. I don't want it streaming at home or anything like that. So if they're going to be watching it at their little hotels, that's fine. But chances are, I would guess they're probably seeing it in a theater setting.
They're definitely going to see it in a theater.
And to me, that's a little bit messed up. As a fan, because these are movies that I love. But oh man, yeah, I could go on screaming about this all day long. But again, it would just be me being an upset fanboy because somebody else gets to see it and I don't.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? Here's the thing. I actually want to sort of challenge and push back on that a little bit because I think on the surface level, yeah, we're all just a bunch of nerds, and we're like, that's not cool. I want to see it. I can't believe these guys get to see it first. It's the same thing that happens when Europe gets it early, okay? If Europe gets it early, look, European people, we've got a lot of European fans. We got people across the pond that like the show. That's awesome. But the moment that you guys get to see the movie before me, I'm going to be a baby about it, and I'm going to complain about it. So on the base level, I'm with you. But I think it's actually a little bit more than that because the LaShawn McCoy incident and also the Serena Williams thing, look, athletes, are not trained as to how to not spoil stuff, bro. So
That's true.
so the spoiler side of it and the potential for LeBron to come out and spoil it, which I think would just be hilarious. I'd really like to just that to happen because I'd be able to talk about it like that. But the possibility of them literally coming out and spoiling the movie, or a Disney employee that's there, working it or whatever. Let me just say, so just as a baseline here, I want to give everybody context. So the NBA season that is returning probably next month. Here's what's actually going on there. Okay. So they're taking 22 teams. 22 of the teams are going to be returning for this season. Okay. And so it's everybody that was in playoff contention and all the teams that were 6 games back or fewer, right? So it's 22 games, 22 teams. They are all of them and their families coming to Orlando, and they're all going to literally live on this facility, on this sort of like campus, and they're actually not even allowed to leave the facility for the duration of the season, and that includes the playoffs. So that's actually pretty wild. Like when I heard about that, I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. But I guess with all the state concerns and the health concerns or whatever, you got to think outside the box. For businesses and companies, they have to think about liability and things like that. And so I think that at the baseline here, it's sort of Disney trying to give some sort of furnishings or amenities to these families and all of that. So I don't know. Like, what do you think? What do you think about that and the whole spoiling aspect to it?
I think there's definitely more important people out there for Disney's audience than the people in the NBA, like their fans, the people who pay them money. I do understand that they, maybe they do have to be at this location and be basically secluded there, quarantined there, however, locked down, however you want to put it there. That kind of sucks, but you know what? That's kind of what everybody's been going through anyway. And again, I could easily go into so many different reasons why it's messed up that they get to go in and they get to watch it just because they're are NBA stars and they're at this resort and just have to stay there and all that stuff. That's pretty messed up. I mean, for me, I'm not Disney or anything like that, but I think it's kind of a bad look for fans on the company of Disney, considering everything that they've kind of got, a lot of fans looking at them for. Anyway, this is just one more thing to just add on to that pile for people to criticize them for, certainly.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing. I think there's plenty of things that they could do that would do the same thing. And, maybe Mulan, maybe all these other things. Like, there's plenty of movies. I think when it comes to the MCU specifically, like, man, they do a lot to keep the integrity of these movies and these surprises going on, right? Like, they do a lot. And so, what do you think the percentage chances that this actually does lead to early spoilers?
The chance would be high. The chance would be real high. Obviously, they're not going to keep them from being online or talking to their friends or having contact with the outside world. That would be just messed up. So obviously, if they did see it, we know something would happen. It's not like you can make that many people sign NDAs and hold them to, especially kids, younger audiences. Any of the family members that might be there, anything like that. It's just too much for them to keep a lid on, and the chance of spoilers would definitely be high.
Yeah, I think it's almost 100%. I honestly have trouble seeing a way in which this doesn't get spoiled now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
How are they going to prevent? Because you got to think about it. 22 teams. What do they have? 13-man rosters, and all of their families. You know what I mean? Like what? Like how? Like I really don't see any possible way that this doesn't get spoiled. It's literally, if it's not 100%, it's like 90%. You know?
I thought of a good way this don't get spoiled.
Yeah, what's up?
We all know what happens. Black Widow dies. We all watched Endgame.
Well, you know what? That's true. But
this movie is pointless.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's another aspect to it. So we could try to go there. We can sort of talk about this. Black Widow, strangely enough, is a film outside of time for the continuity of Phase 4 moving forward. It literally takes place before the ending of Phase 3. So, is this a sign at all that maybe there's really not that much in Black Widow that you can really even that you can really even spoil? What do you think about that?
I think like I think there's obviously a lot of stuff that's going to be in this movie to spoil, and quite honestly, I think there's going to be quite a bit of stuff to spoil. I mean, just considering, I think the way I see it is this movie is leading into Falcon and Winter Soldier, which leads into just about everything else. Going forward. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff in this movie. We're going to get a lot of things that we didn't know, some backstory, and then obviously, I think a lot of this stuff is taking place in a time that is kind of like current time in the MCU.
Okay,
is where a lot of it's going to take place at, not just in the past. I've got my own theories on things like that, but I think there's definitely a lot in this movie to be spoiled. I mean, otherwise, if it wasn't that important, why would they have pushed it back so far? Not sooner, not even delayed it more, or just so many different things. I think this movie is going to be kind of walking a line of telling that story of things that have happened and how they're affecting the future and leading into the future in the MCU.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I think that there's a lot of stuff in there that's probably going to be impactful, which is why they moved it, which is why they moved everything, right? It was funny, like in the early days of the delays and the shutdowns, there were a lot of conversations. We had conversations here on the channel about what they were going to do, because one of the tricky things with Marvel is that because they've so meticulously figured out their connective tissue, because they have that, it's actually really hard to move stuff without moving other stuff. I actually think it's pretty wild that they were even able to move Doctor Strange to the very end, and it's kind of sort of an interesting thing. I saw people talk about this in chat, but yeah, the whole Thunderbolts idea, the idea of Thunderbolts may possibly being introduced, the possibility of like a after credit scene or a post credit scene being shown after the movie that sets up, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and different things like that. I just really think, here's where I got to be honest. Like, I'm hoping that this is not true. And I am hoping that, like, maybe this is something that Disney's trying. And then Feige sort of steps in and he's like, look, I get what you're doing. I understand. But no Black Widow. You don't get to use Black Widow to do that because of spoilers, this, that, and the other thing. But I saw some people saying in chat that they think this could actually be used to create more hype for Black Widow. So, I don't know. What do you think about that? Is there any truth to that? Could that possibly work at all?
Honestly, I don't think releasing that and leaks getting out about the movie, people going out there and spoiling the movie, that's not going to build any hype for the movie. That's going to kill the movie. Yeah. Because everyone's going to learn kind of what they need or want to know. They're going to cherry pick whoever's seen its minds about everything that's happened there, and then there's nothing left to be surprised about later. I mean, obviously, people like me would still go see it anyway after learning all of this stuff. But I think Kevin Feige's got to step in and do something, and I imagine that he would. I mean, if anything, why not just give them a maybe, I don't know, maybe some behind the scenes or something, or maybe even a sneak peek at Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like a 30-minute something like that. Maybe the first episode, something that couldn't be too detrimental to getting out there and circulating amongst fans. But certainly the whole movie being shown, that's going to kill the movie. There'd be no point. I mean, how many people would not go see it just due to that? They're like, I know what happens. I need to go see the movie now.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I don't know. There's a lot of ins and outs to it, and I think that there's some people in chat that actually don't think it's a big problem. Like Al is saying, I don't think it's a big deal. I'm sure Feige was/is on board with this. I don't know. I honestly couldn't disagree more. At the risk of sounding like a total just nerd beyond belief, I actually think it's a super big deal. I think it's a super big deal, and I think that, like, there's just I'm sorry, there's no way it's not going to spoil. Like, there's no way it's not going to spoil. Like, if the NBA players and their families, because you're talking about families, you probably got some young kids, you probably got people that aren't really even that invested. Because here's the thing, it's not just the idea of them going out and being like, I'm going to spoil this movie, I'm going to specifically put information out there to spoil the movie. That's not actually where most spoilers come from. Most spoilers come from people talking like casually and not processing enough in the moment that what they are saying is actually spoiling something. Okay? So it's not, even if they were trying, even if they wanted, even if they signed NDAs, I don't think that has any bearing on whether or not things will get spoiled. I almost guarantee you things will be spoiled. And Adam says, let's be real, the movie will get spoiled by a Lego set anyways. Let me just address that. Let me just address that for a second, because it's funny, because to me there's a difference between, like, okay, when you talk about Endgame, okay, we knew a lot of different things about Endgame, and we published a lot of different things about Endgame, speculating about this, talking about this costume leak, talking about this Lego leak, talking about this, that, second, and the third. Here's the deal. The moment we knew that there was an actual screening of Endgame and that people had actually seen the actual movie, we stopped talking about spoilers, because there is a big difference between speculating about ancillary stuff that is out there and trying to prognosticate what is in the film, and then having someone who literally saw the movie tell you something about it. Maybe that's just a personal thing, but for me, I feel like they're totally different things. And if you're going to actually have people literally see the film and spoil stuff, whoo, baby, that's a different animal. Whoa, that's different. But I don't know. Am I wrong on that, Trinity?
No, I think you're right 100%. I mean, the things would get spoiled inadvertently, like you're saying, because there are people out there who aren't into this stuff, who would spoil it. I mean, not even being cognizant of the fact, not even knowing that they're spoiling anything, just through comments they're saying, just a conversation, just casual stuff, it will get spoiled. The only way I see this not really getting pushed back from Feige or anything, coming out about that, would be that maybe this movie actually don't have any spoilers in it, nothing that's going to spoil the future of the MCU. Maybe the only thing in this movie has stuff that we already know about. But I really highly doubt that. I mean, that's to say that you don't have to see this movie at all, and there was no point in them even delaying the movie, and they might as well just release it
digitally. That's what you were going to say, right? They might as well just release it digitally, right? Yeah, I know. It's such an interesting conversation, and I see a lot of good chatter in the chat. And by the way, you don't have to agree with us. You know what I mean? Like that's okay. Like, you guys don't have to agree with us, but we like to get super fired up about this and talk about this sort of stuff. I saw somebody say, like, it's just a movie. Yeah, for sure, man. Let's be real. We know it's just a movie, bro. But the channel's called The Den of Nerds. What do you think we're doing here?
Yeah. It's just a movie. Like, my whole channel started on just a movie, okay?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's just a movie. Yeah, we know, bro. We know. It's all good. It's all good. Chill. Okay, so let's shift a little bit. I want to know about comics this week. I want to talk to you about the comic books that came out, and then we'll get into a little bit of Q&A. Are you streaming after this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we'll let you get out of here like 10 minutes before 11 or whatever. But what's going on in comics, man? I didn't see anything really good from Marvel this week. Nothing that I wanted to pull. I pulled the DC book, the Dark Knights, Death Metal #1, but I honestly haven't. I didn't finish it. I had a meeting early this morning. I was hoping to get to it. But what's going on in comic book land?
As a matter of fact, Marvel didn't release any single issues this week. All they did was trade paperbacks. DC continuing to fulfill fans' nerdy needs for reading comic books. We all have these wants, and yes, they did release a bunch of quite a bit of books. I picked up Hawkman, but I don't read much DC, and just like you, I did pick up that Death Metal as well. Want to get into this? I didn't get a chance to read it as well. I actually saved it for last because I wanted to get through everything else and have this to talk about, and I'll probably do a discussion and stream about this tomorrow morning. But other than that, there's plenty of other good titles that are coming out, and one book that came out as well today is this one right here. It's this horror book called Hotel.
Okay.
Now, this book right here is this new studio that's just coming out right there. You can see up there in the top corner. It's AWA Upshot.
Cool.
It's artists, writers, and artisans. And
okay.
what it is Axel Alonso, who he's had quite a career in comic books. It looks like from what I've seen. I guess he used to be, was he the C?
He was the editor-in-chief, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, he was the editor at large, as far as I know, over at Marvel. He's like the big guy. And he's been around for a while, and he put together, him and a couple of partners are putting together this new publishing company, and they reached out to some different people and launched this company with 4 titles just before the pandemic hit. And it was really crazy because one of the first titles they put out was called The Resistance, which issue number 2 just came out today. And it's very funny because this story in Resistance is telling about, it kind of opens up this world after this pandemic had hit the world. Nations across the world have their citizens on lockdown. They're fighting back for their freedom. They went out. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The timing of
the thing that would never happen in the real world, right?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, totally. Totally fiction. And it's pretty crazy how this all starts off, and then we see that of all the people that are affected, there is a small percentage of the people who obviously didn't die, and some of them who start to get superpowers.
Okay.
And that's where we're starting to see this world kind of start to unfold with all these people kind of discovering their powers. And the Resistance is just that. It's like a team coming together, almost like the X-Men. And AWA Upshot is kind of building this world there with these titles that they've put out there. They've since launched a couple of others as well, and they're all very good titles. And they've got great writers like I was saying for the Resistance, they've got J. Michael Straczynski here writing this book, and Mike Deodato Jr. Doing the art.
Yo, and you're recommending it? You dig it?
Oh yeah, I would highly recommend that. And like I was saying about the other one too as well. If you like horror, definitely check out Hotel. This book is very great horror series, almost like Twilight Zone / Creep Show. Very very cool stuff. Yeah, and it's all taking place in this post-apocalyptic world. Definitely a cool universe, and I kind of like that. I've been getting into more indies, and I like seeing companies come out and kind of setting up, just putting out their books. But here they're setting up and kind of building this world, just like a Marvel did, just like a DC, just like a Valiant Universe did, building their own little thing. And it looks to be pretty good so far.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I will have to check that out. I love that indie stuff too, man. And I think that like the way that comics is going right now, there's actually a lot of opportunity because of crazy things that are happening at the top. There's a lot of opportunity for like newer companies or newer publishers or even newer creatives to kind of get their stuff out there and do all of that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So guys, check that stuff out. Go to your local comic book store or check out Comixology if you want to be a dirty digital reader, and go check out some of these books, man. And if you guys could do me a favor and smizash the like button, that would be much appreciated. Look at all those beautiful books that Trinity's got, bagged and boarded, man.
Yeah, they're great. They're great books. And like I said, they've got a bunch of great writers. I mean, we've got Michael Morisi, who's been, he just had a breakout year last year, and he's continuing it this year. We got Benjamin Percy writing Year Zero. He's writing the current Wolverine series.
Nice. Dude, that dude is awesome.
X-Force.
Yeah, have you ever heard that guy speak?
No.
Dude, look up like an interview or something with him. He talks pretty much like this. This is basically how he talks. And when we heard him at New York Comic Con, everybody was like, "Holy shit, I want to read that dude's books." Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I know he had something to do with that Wolverine, the long night or something like that. I think it was like a podcast, and they made it into a comic book. I'm not sure what he had to do with that, but it makes me wonder if he did the voice for that or something.
Yeah, I have to check that out. That's pretty interesting. Was the voice kind of like what I just described?
I'm not for sure. I never heard it, but they said
Oh.
whoever was doing the voice kind of really did a really good job acting it all out and everything. But I think he did write the comic book as well.
Huh. Interesting stuff. No, that's cool. That's cool. Well, guys, let's shift into Q&A. We got about 10 more minutes with Trinity here. So let's get these questions on in. Of course, super chats do help the channel out. If you got a little bit of loot and you want to throw a super chat up there, we will discuss whatever you super chat in. But if you don't have any loot, you don't got to worry about. Just throw your questions into the chat and we will go from there. Yeah, I got a lot of comic book catching up to do, man. I keep telling myself that I need to like get back in there and just knock out like a nice like 4-hour session of just like going through comics. But I really want to get caught up because I want to know what's going on in DC currently and what's going on with Marvel currently, and then be able to actually properly kind of pull from the books that they release.
Yeah, and it's a lot, when you start getting into it. I mean, as you well know, to kind of get your it's one of those kind of things you can't really just like dip your toe in the water.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard.
You kind of got to jump in and just kind of read a little bit of everything, see what you like, see what you don't like. And sometimes the way I feel about it, if there's something that I don't like, I almost want to keep reading it. You know how people hate watch videos here on YouTube?
Yeah.
Like, some books I like to read, some authors I like to read, some writers and stuff, because I'm just sitting there like, I think this person is okay, and I think they have potential. I want to see them do something good. I want to see a progression here. A case in point, one of my a writer out there that, like, when I first read the first book that I read by her, I didn't particularly like, so I went out of my way to read more books that she wrote, and then finally, Leah Williams. She started writing The Amazing Mary Jane, and I'm like, man, she finally hit her stride. Like she got it right.
That's sweet, dude. Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. I've never really thought about that. Like, if you don't like totally love a book, to try to give it a shot, it's just a little tough for me because I feel like the price point on comics is a little high. So I feel like they really need to. Usually, the pattern that I've experienced is like the number one is great, and they really hit you in the face with that number one, and then it slowly trails off after that. You know what I mean? So that's usually where I drop out. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't really doing it for me anymore. Let's see here. Trinity, Captain Pennsylvania wants to know, do you have a hard copy for Hawkeye?
Oh man, don't even get me started on Hawkeye Freefall. No, issue number 5 is going to drive me nuts. I almost feel like it's something like it's like I put a stake in, I planted a flag, and here on this I will die, this hill.
Yeah.
But I feel like I gripe about it too much when it's something that I don't really care that much about, because I didn't really care about the series that much. It just kind of irks me that there's just one book, and all I wanted was just that last book. And now here I find myself like, I don't even want to read it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I do agree that was pretty stupid of them to do. Let's see here. Dash asks, do you hope Venom and Morbius are in the MCU? Trinity, you want to take that one off the top? I mean, what do you think about that? We've talked about it a lot, but what do you think?
Not really. Not maybe not actually in the MCU as Sony is doing them, maybe like in that crossover thing where they're talking about, maybe just in that way where they're like, okay, this is happening over here, and Spider-Man goes back and forth and all of that stuff. But if they were going to inject them, I would want, the Feige version of all of that. But we all know how that seems to go. But I mean, honestly, all this stuff kind of needs to be together, but then it kind of all gets mishmashed together, and I think it would be a hard thing to balance them. Right? I guess we're gonna have to see how the MCU can even do with all the characters they've already got.
I think there's a lot that's not. There's like some big thing that the MCU is not telling us. There's a lot that we're just kind of trying to figure out through what they're saying and what they're not saying. And when it comes to Spider-Man and the Sony stuff, my position has always been that it would be great if there was a diegetic way, like if there was an in-story way that Feige made it make sense, where like maybe they actually have Tom Holland go through a portal at the end of one of the movies, and then Tom Hardy's there, and like, you know what I mean? Like it would be great if they made it make sense in the story. But if they don't, I'm personally okay with it. And I'm actually, it's funny, Dave, one of the executive producers, Dave, he's like really hot about what Sony's doing. He's like a big time hater on the Sony Spider-Man universe and what they're doing. And I think we're going to try to figure out a debate where he's debating that, and I'm kind of saying like, no, man, I think that it's not only okay, but good that Sony has the Spider-Man stuff, because not everything should be Disneyfied to me. So
Right.
there's some good and bad there. I would personally like it if it was much more clean and if we knew what we were actually looking at. But we'll just see. We'll just see. I have no idea what the actual plan is.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Little bit of an issue with DOS chat. Hang on. Oh man.
It happens.
Yeah, dude. Stupid chat. I popped it out and I can't get there. Okay, well, it looks like we got a super chat coming in from Kendall. Thank you, man. Thanks for the support. Oh, geez, can I even? Okay, it says right here, I want the season to resume, and I don't mind them seeing Black Widow. If it's spoiled, it would be done anonymously through a site and not by a tweet. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Trinity? What do you think of Kendall Davis's statement there?
Well, I mean, I don't watch basketball, so I'm not waiting for the season to resume. And quite honestly, like, I don't really mind them seeing Black Widow neither, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, the only reason I'm upset is because I'm a huge fan and I just want to see the movie.
Yeah.
Now, the spoiled anonymously through a site, no, that's if all those NBA stars and their family seen the movie, it wouldn't be done anonymously through a site. It would definitely be through tweets,
right, through
Instagram posts, through Facebook posts, Snapchats, TikToks, all that difference. Is there something new now besides TikTok? Like, I'm sure there is.
Slip slop.
It would be spoiled that way because, like we were saying, it would be done inadvertently by somebody who's not fully aware that they're doing it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like, I think that Kendall's sort of trying to conflate the spoilers that we are like our regularly scheduled spoilers and the spoilers that would come out from this event. And I've sort of tried to make the distinction there because I think they're definitely different animals. What we are trying to figure out online with the limited information and with like anonymous sources and things like that is not the same thing as like, oh, some people saw the movie and then said this thing. So I consider them to be totally different, but I don't, it's not that like I feel like Kendall's wrong. I think I see what he's saying. I think in some ways, like, it's a sort of a weird thing with spoilers, right? It's your mileage may vary, right? Like, how much do you care about it? How much are you engaged with it? What do you personally think is the responsibility of channels like this, but also just websites and people on Twitter? What's the responsibility there? If you're really not wanting to be spoiled, should you really be on YouTube channels like this? Should you really be on Twitter without certain phrases blocked on your Twitter and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't know where that line is. I know that some of the responsibility absolutely falls on the people that are making the content. I understand that. But I think to think that the responsibility isn't yours, at least a little bit, is wrong. When it comes to a big movie, whenever I want not spoiled, like, what I mean is I don't really want the actual spoilers from the film. I'm totally okay with all the things that happen right up to it. And once I know that people have actually seen the movie, I'm not interested. So I will actually black out my own social media. Now, kind of different because I don't actually have personal social media, or at least I don't really use it. So I don't engage with that. But if you're on social media and you're active, I think it's like a little bit on you. You know what I mean? To avoid the spoilers. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, it's definitely on the person, on the fan themselves, the audience member. It's definitely on them. However, obviously, there's people out there who want to spoil stuff. They're trying to spoil stuff. Not even people who have channels and things like that. There's people actually out there doing everything they can to spoil it because they want to see people get upset and see the reactions and stuff like that. And hey, you do what you do online.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is a little bit of, there is some responsibility with some of this stuff. Like, I don't mind hearing any of the leaks or anything like that. Now, just like straight up spoiler kind of stuff, like, I don't really want that, like, scenes or whatever. Like, I remember when Endgame was coming out, there was those scenes that leaked online, and I'm telling you, I came this close to seeing it. Yeah. I almost seen it, and I was like, no, as much as I want it, like, I don't want it either. You know what I mean? Somebody can tell me about it. They can talk about it all fine and dandy. But for all I know, anybody could be making it up at any time. So as much as it's on me, I think there is a responsibility for people. If you have an actual channel and stuff like that, or an article or whatnot that is spoiling it, at least talk about the fact that you're going to go into spoilers and let people know before you do any of that, not just come right out the gate with it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think a lot of that spoilery kind of stuff, while it can be fun for speculation and things, when we actually know stuff that can kind of ruin it, like I think that kind of ruins the experience for fans and everything. To be quite honest, I'm not like, as much as I like it, I kind of don't like it at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a super complicated thing because, and by the way, I'm dropping the link, guys, to the Den of Nerds live channel. I should have did this earlier. But again, if you like these streams, if you're having fun, head on over to the Den of Nerds live, drop a subscribe. We will be back at it over there next week, okay? So it is such an interesting topic because it's such a, like I think that one of the things that's challenging about it is that there's no consensus. There's no like hard consensus among all people, which I mean, it's 2020. Let's be real. That's probably not a thing anymore. But there's no consensus among, well, what are the rules of engagement? How should websites handle this? How should people handle this? How should studios handle this? Because ultimately, and this is just my belief, I think the most responsibility actually falls to the studio. I think it is actually the studio's responsibility to keep the integrity of their product, and that they need to spend money and resources to make sure that that happens. And I actually think misinformation and some of the stuff that Marvel engages with like altering the trailers and doing stuff like that, that is beautiful. And more studios should do that, because even though when we were running up to Endgame, it was funny because we had all this information, we had all these leaks, we had all this stuff, but then we had to run it through the lens of what we saw in the trailers. By the way, do you remember, Trinity, because you've been watching the channel for a long time, do you remember after that trailer and I came out and said that was a fake trailer? Do you remember?
Which trailer was that?
It was the one where it starts with Tony and he's in the Benatar looking at the helmet.
The very first one.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I came out and said, that's not the real trailer. I was like, this is altered. I brought up stuff like there's not even a scar. There's no hole in his shirt. You know what I mean? Like I was like, he's not skinny at all. I was like, what is going on here? This isn't real. Now, at the time, what I thought was it was completely fabricated, that they had completely fabricated and that they had a totally different thing going on there. But what actually happened was they altered like the CG that they had done to sort of just throw us off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that kind of stuff is really important, because then channels like this and communities like this and the way we engage with this, we're not so sure. We can talk about all these different things, but we're not so sure. So that when you're in the film itself, you're not like going through a checklist. You know what I mean? Like you're just kind of experiencing it. Maybe there's some stuff floating around your head of the way you think it will go, but you're ultimately just enjoying the film. So it's it's an interesting thing. But I want to address this super chat here by Enrique.
Yes.
Will the internet explode if John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are announced as Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm at the virtual Comic-Con this year? What are your thoughts, Trinity? Is the internet going to explode?
I don't think the internet's the only thing that's going to explode if that gets announced.
Yeah. For sure.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no. So
the fan reaction would be wild, though.
The fan reaction would be wild. I think, and I'll let you go, brother. I know you got to get ready for your stream. But holy cow, that would be wild. I actually think it would be a bad move because it would overshadow a lot of the movies and the Phase 4 stuff that they're trying to like elevate. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a mistake. But I personally think that's a done deal. And that they are moving ahead with that. So, Trinity, any awesome pieces of content you want to plug? Anything you want to say about your channel before we let you go here?
Don't really have anything major coming up. Just, if you like comic books, you're not really sure about comic books, what comic books to read or anything like that, make sure you stop by the channel. I love talking about comic books, especially indie comic books, and naturally Marvel comic books as well. So, make sure you stop by, do the live streams, pretty much like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays right now, or Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm sorry. But yeah, just over there trying to improve my videos, and things like that, like the comic reviews, always looking for new ways to make them pop. So, stop on by, check them out, and let me know what you think.
Yeah, stop on by and check it out. And Trinity, like he said, he streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays right after this show. And so we will throw up a link at the end of the show. But yeah, Trinity, I'll let you go, man. See you soon on your stream, okay?
All right. You all have a good one. Thanks for having me.
For sure, brother. Take care.
Later.
Boom. Okay. So, guys, we'll run for like 10 more minutes or something like that. And we'll keep the Q&A going here. Thanks to Trinity for coming on here and talking about this whole NBA thing. It's still pretty wild to me. I still think it's pretty crazy. Josh, welcome back. So crazy having Chet host yesterday. Dominic says it's just a comic book. Oh man. Yeah, no, Chet. Look, I'll say this about Chet. He definitely didn't step in or moderate at all yesterday. Totally let us just go crazy. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for that. That was real cool. Hey, Josh, what 6 Spider people you want to see in Spider-Verse 2 that we have not seen in Spider-Verse? Ooh, okay. That's a good one. Kane, Scarlet Spider, Kane, 100%. We haven't seen Silk, so Silk would be kind of interesting. I like that character. They did Spider-Pig. I'm trying to think here. So they did Spider-Gwen. Miles was obviously going to play a big role. Obviously, Miguel, Spider-Man 2099. Ah, man, it's been a while since I've read like Spider-Verse and those kind of things. So yeah, I can't give you a solid answer on that, but there's plenty of awesome Spider-Man people that they could bring on. Hey, Josh, I got a question, kind of off topic, but I got to ask. What's going on tonight? What you mean? What's going on tonight? I don't know. I do not know what you mean, sir. I've got a bunch of meetings. I know that. If everybody signs an NDA, then I can't see it getting leaked unless it's from a website. Oh my God, of course! The Nerd Card Showdown! How could I forget? Oh my God, now I'm embarrassed. You know what? Let me do this. Now I'm super embarrassed. How could I brain fart about the Nerd Card Showdown? I should have plugged that at the beginning of the show. Holy crap. Okay, so let me do this. I want to show you something. What's going on tonight? What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. Oh man. Now I feel really silly. Let me see if I can. I want to try to show you guys something here. Because we got a really special, we got a big matchup tonight on the Nerd Card Showdown. Of course I knew that the whole time. The Nerd Card Showdown tonight, we've got Asgardian Leviosa versus the Chet Boys for life. And I actually want to show you this little promo here. So I think it's super cool. So let's see if we can get this going on in here. Media. New. Promo. The Chet Boys for life. Still can't believe they picked that name. Let's see if we can get this rocking. You guys see that? You see the snow we put on Santa's side? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Tonight, it goes down. Lot of crap talking. Forgot to plug Debate 8. Yeah, man. When are you and Chet getting that podcast together? Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it, man. A lot of cool stuff happening. This got dark real quick. What did I miss? What did I miss? Santa said no one's getting shit this year? Oh my God, that's amazing. Santa's burning it down tonight, baby. Oh, it's going to be great. Oh, it's going to be great. Ugh. Yeah. So if you don't know, folks, we do a trivia show, and we do it every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. What's the deal with the Eastern Standard Time not being a thing anymore? You know what I mean? What's up with that? You know? Like, what's up with that? And the super chat over there just came through, or is that another super chat? Chet, you got to handle your old shit. Oh my God! Now the super chats are coming through on the thingy. That's so weird, man. Come on, you can do better than that. I want to try to show this promo one more time here. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, it's the Asgardian Leviosa versus the Chet Boys for life. Woo! It's going to be spicy, baby. So, yeah, we have a trivia show that we do on the live streaming channel. It's really fun. It's a really fun time. Josh, I can't stop winning at trivia. Help? Oh, you don't need any help. All that time zone shit and daylight savings BS needs to go. Are you bringing back the Blazer tonight? Yes. I'm bringing it back, baby. The Blazer's coming back. It's going to be a good time. By the way, Josh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely connected to the MCU. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing is just kind of crazy. The show needs to... Will you be at your podium tonight? Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, I'll be on the podium. The whole deal... Jeremy Conrad even says so. I mean, I like Jeremy. But, you know, people I like can be wrong. I mean, clearly, did you watch the debate yesterday? Am I right, though? Look, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just needs to stop being a show. And once it's no longer on the air, then we won't have to have this conversation anymore. And I won't have to make people cry. Adam says, no one watched Nerd Card tonight. And you know what? Adam, it'll be over soon enough, Josh. Hashtag heartless. I know. I should be more sensitive. Look, Adam also does one of the best shows on YouTube. And that's not hyperbole. Like, I'm being honest. Like, here, yo, chat, pause the music. Adam does one of the best shows on YouTube called Debate 8. It comes on right after the Nerd Card Showdown. So lock 2 hours in to your evening tonight. Come hang out on the Nerd Card Showdown. I don't know what Santa's going to do. I'm a little bit nervous now the more that I think about it. So come on by for that. And then check out Adam's show at 9, Debate 8. It's really good. Adam is a phony. You spelled real one wrong. Because Adam is a real one. Where can I find this season's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes? Ah, man. Where are those episodes? Where do they put the bad shows again? I never know where they put the shows that are not that good and definitely aren't connected to the MCU on. Oh, Hulu, Mav says. So apparently they're on Hulu. So check them out. Check them out on Hulu. Yeah, the Hulu, the only streaming service that also has ads. You got to pay a monthly service and then you got to watch ads. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible stuff that they've got going on over at Hulu. All right, so I'm going to put the link, folks, for Trinity's stream into the chat. Head on over. Head on over to Trinity's stream. And I'll see you guys over there, okay? We're going to call it. We'll be back at it tomorrow with another one. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next